guys, welcome back to the channel where we are checking out NFT games, and today we are looking at Splinterlands. As many of you do know, if you are interested in Splinterlands, there is a free-to-play aspect. You do have to get $10 to get a starter deck, but ultimately the cards you can acquire in here in the time it takes to play, you can play completely free to play after you get that initial spell book. Now, Chaos Legion has dropped. A lot of players have opened the pack, and if you guys have noticed, these starter decks have changed, guys. So I came in here to do my daily just like I do every day, and all of my starter cards have changed, which is kind of crazy because now I got to look at other formations and I got to look at other builds. So today I just wanted to run through the starter deck and show you kind of what it looks like. I did buy one summoner because she was relatively cheap, and I think she is going to be pretty powerful. In this game right now, I do not own very many cards. I don't rent any of the cards. I really like to own them versus renting them. So what I do is I save up all my dark energy crystals, my DEC, and I go ahead and buy cards with those when I have enough, which again, we'll look at in just a minute. So taking a look here, here is the decks, guys, or the new cards that came right here from Chaos Legion. As you can see, I have 245 dark energy crystals. Again, I save these up until I have enough to buy cards, and that's what I do to get cards. I don't really rent cards, but looking here, we're going to go through and run through the different elements and show you exactly what changed. So right here in the bottom right, this is the new summoner. So before we had a different summoner that only had the plus melee. Now this one offers a plus melee and it offers a plus health, as you can see right here on the bottom. Big thing is they are more expensive. So all the summoners within Chaos Legion are 4 mana, as you can see right there in the top left. So ultimately they are a little bit more expensive. Now, looking at the buffs that she brings, so if you're running fire, you can actually use these fire cards. So buffing up melee, there's only a couple. When you look, we have 1, 2, 3, we have 4 melee heroes within here, which means that if you are having the starter deck, you're going to have to use some of the neutral cards out of here. But one of the big things I look at is what hero is going to tank. So you do see right here the Terry Strike has a sneak ability, but also costs 5, ultimately 6 health. Not too much if you're fighting a magic opponent. He's probably going to die out pretty quick, even having a little bit more health, taking it up to 7, which honestly makes me think that this Atoid platoon is going to be the go-to for the tank if you're running the fire deck. You can see there are a couple different abilities in here, including cleanse. You'll see that one a few times, and then close range, so he can actually attack up front. So this is going to be another viable tank depending on what you're using. If you're fighting a team where the opponent has been using magic, the health he gets out of here is going to be considerable, and he can still attack up close. If they are using different formations, the shielding ability from the platoon might be more beneficial at a much cheaper cost. Now in here, we do have a reach hero, which is awesome. We have a snipe hero. Now snipe and sneak are a little bit different. So snipe will actually target the monster that are not in the first position, and then the sneak will attack the last monster within the battle. But ultimately, looking at this, we have 2 real viable tanks. And also, I think a lot of players are going to run melee heavy in this because your summoner gives that melee bonus to bring up some of the damage that you're going to. If you're not going with the melee heroes, let's say you go with the Jin instead, they're going to get the benefit from the health bonus, but they're not going to get the bonus of the melee, which again is just going to go to waste if you're not building the classes to go kind of coincide with the summoner. Now looking at the second one, this is an interesting one. So before we actually had a summoner in here that was a plus magic summoner, so it actually added magic damage to the summoning ability. He has been replaced by a speed and an armor, so a little bit different build out here. And if you look at some of these cards within this deck, they are expensive, guys. So we have the Demian Shark, 6 armor, 7 health, and it does have the trample ability. Overall, not too much damage, so the trample ability might not come into effect, but for 8 total mana, that is a very expensive card. But when you look at the tanking in here, you're again pretty limited to what you could pull. As far as the tanking class, you might have to go with neutral monsters depending on who you want to build. The Swim Hunter here does have the range, meaning he cannot go in the first position because he will not do anything. Same with the Angelic Mandarin, same thing. So this Cruel Cephalopod might be the option for tanking in here. The Demon Shark, if you have a little bit of a stronger or a higher mana pool, that would be another one to utilize within this one. And I love the Deep Lurker, guys. This one actually comes with Opportunity, which is targeting the enemy with the lowest health, but it has 3 attack, guys. So this is a very strong choice when it comes to the ability to attack up front. And then we also have this Hearty Stonefish, which I love. You can see it has shielding and it has health, plus it has an attack at 1 mana. That is an absolute phenomenal card because not only does he absorb a melee hit, he will absorb a magical hit, plus he can deal damage if he's up in that first slot. So overall, I like the build here, kind of questioning the change of the summoner and also the cost. So I ran this water deck a couple times. Ultimately, I used the shark right here is the one that I was going to. But again, it is relatively expensive. If you're looking at the means or a lower mana cost, you would have to definitely go with the Cephalopod. Now, interesting enough, again, to the Earth deck. So the Earth deck actually moved the caster. So this is what our water caster or water summoner had before. And now it boosts the magic attack here, which they, in my opinion, got a super big buff with the starter deck, guys. Because look at this hero. Now, this is a hero that we only had previously in the light deck. Again, I'm very low-key in the game, very early to the game. I don't have many cards. I don't buy more of the expensive cards. But this one comes with 2 magic, 10 health, and of course, taunt. So every monster will attack this monster first, and they're getting a bonus to magic. So this monster is going to have 3 magical damage, guys, with 10 health. I know, again, it is pretty expensive, but ultimately, this is going to be a absolute very solid choice for that first tanking position, followed by a hero like here. The Goblin Psychic has the heal ability, so he can actually heal the slip spawn, which is really strong. In addition, guys, that's strong magical attack. So both of these heroes, or both of these monsters, are going to get 3 magical attack when combined with the summoner. Again, relatively expensive, but ultimately that is a strong team. Same with the Regal Paraton, because they already have attack, has a significant amount of health, does cost quite a bit, but with the flying ability, very hard to kill. And another viable tank, which is the reason why I think the Earth deck really got stacked, guys. Look at this infantry guy right here, high stats. Again, significant cost, but it has armor, it has health. And then you also have the Kearney Knifer, which has thorns. So if he is in the first position versus a melee, he is not only going to deal 2 damage, but if he gets hit, the thorn damage will do 2 damage back to the attacker. And they have a scout here with opportunity. So I really feel like this team got pretty stacked when it comes to the element. Because of the abilities that they carry in here. Goblin Tower is pretty solid. Even a cheap tank, 6 health at 3 mana cost, it is pretty solid. Which brings us to the light. So looking at the life element, this is one, again, they added ranged attack here. So he's boosting ranged attack. These are your only 2 ranged attackers. So essentially, again, if you are bringing in this summoner, these are going to be the monsters you are going to want to utilize because of the range attack boost that they're getting. The rest of these are not the best. And range attack, remember, cannot fight up front, which means either the Blinding Reflector or the Chaos Knight are going to be the 2 that are going to be required to tank here. We also do have a sneak. We also do have an opportunity hero, similar to the other ones, and we do have a 1 mana cost hero as well. So 2 tanks, again, looking at these. We have the damage dealers right here. We have the reach hero. 2 interesting things to this one. One is the scatter shot. So it is going to be random with who he's hitting, especially when he gets that 3 attack rating combined with the summoner here. And then a time mage. So they actually included a time mage, which is going to slow the speed of all enemies. And as you can see, most of these enemies are not at 1s. So it could greatly benefit this team to have that Time Mage in there. She is very fast, and she is going to slow down the speed of the rest of the team. So again, I still feel like the Earth team got a really solid build. And since I've been playing, I've had a lot of challenges taking down the Earth teams. Which brings, of course, to the last one, which is our Death team. Very strong summoner, guys. Minus magic, minus health. So if you run into that Earth team, this is going to be devastating to them because of the negative health and because of the negative magic damage. We always know that this is pretty interesting. They have a pretty solid tank here. Lower mana cost, high health, and it has that Thorns ability that we just talked about before. Again, very interesting combination there. We do have the True Striker, which is a pretty solid range damage. And then, of course, Life Leech. Solid ability. We don't really see it much outside of here. We have, again, the Sneak ability. We have a shield. Lower mana battles, this is going to be kind of your go-to because of that shielding ability that he possesses. We have another 1 mana cost hero, again here, a monster, which is very interesting to see. And then the Reach, as well as the Scavenger. So a lot of you know that we use the Scavenger when we had the old, again, the starter set, when we had the Earth, we use it quite a bit. Now this Scavenger has no health. So essentially it's going to be 1 to take damage and 1 to probably sit in like the 2nd or 3rd slot till a couple of heroes are down, because it does have quite a bit of health, but it's not going to do anything as far as damage. It's literally just going to sit there and absorb hits. Very cool looking art on these. The art in this is absolutely phenomenal. Then, of course, we do get a couple starter cards as well. We get a ranged attack. This one, very interesting to be a neutral card because it repairs some armor. Traditionally, this was the life deck that we used to repair some armor. Now he is in here, or this version of the hero with the armor repairs in here, which I love, because coupled with some of the heroes and some of the bigger tanks that we see up here, the ability to repair the armor is going to make a difference in a lot of battles, especially if you're against melee and ranged heroes. Disintegrator, demoralization, he can lower the attack of all of your heroes. Again, super effective if you're fighting the melee. We have a ranged, we have a melee here, which this is actually one that I've been using somewhat as a tank because of the lower cost and then the higher health. And then, of course, Dispel, which is going to get rid of the positive status effects on enemies. So he can actually clean them out. Again, I can see battles where it's going to be super effective, but really knowing your enemy is going to be key when it comes to Splinterlands. So again, guys, if you're interested in Splinterlands, I have a referral link down below that you can utilize. Very cool to see the new cards. I'm going to have to go through here, really dissect, because again, most of these new cards in here, I'm waiting for the packs to go public. So as we know, Chaos Legion, they are still doing the, I haven't purchased any packs because I don't have the eligibility due to the vouchers that are needed. But once this is sold, so once this hits the general sale, we have 301 credits to buy some packs. So we're going to buy and open some Chaos Legion packs, hopefully pick out some of those heroes out of there, which would be awesome to see. Unfortunately, again, being kind of a low to no spender within here, I've been building up my cards and building up my decks, but very cool to see the new starter cards that we have in here, guys. It's interesting to see the dynamic of using the cards in here. I really like it. It changes up the game. Again, when I came in today, it was a completely different game. Tested out some of the new summoners, tested out some of the new heroes. Very cool to see. So I just wanted to run through them really quick so you guys can get more familiar, especially if you are relatively new to Splinterlands. So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.